So I was kind of learning a lot more about the kind of, because I had a lot more time to kind of play around and tinker is the word I was looking for. And so I was kind of discovering a lot. So I have a computer science background, so but I don't have a lot of sort of graphics programming background. So I was kind of experimenting a lot with shaders, which are kind of programs that generate specifically for generating graphics on the screen. And I kind of had this novel idea for a way to render kind of landscapes based on two-dimensional images. I haven't seen anyone else that's kind of done it quite this way. And it had a kind of very weird quality to it, which I really liked. It's kind of very unusual and very distinctive. It was at a venue in South Bank where we made it. And because I had this system for rendering landscapes that you could walk around in using 2D images. So I thought, well, what if I take photographs of my surroundings and use those to generate something you can walk through. Now, obviously, it wouldn't look like South Bank, but it would be a different way to experience those surroundings. So that's what I did. And so I went around South Bank, and that was like probably the funnest video game I've ever made, because there was hardly any programming. All I was doing was wandering around South Bank and the botanical gardens and a bit of Melbourne's CBD, taking photographs of everything. And I borrowed a three-dimensional microphone, a good quality one, because we had some access to some AV equipment, and I would just record ambient sounds from around Melbourne. And it was just really fun to do that. And then all I did is like plonk them together into I just used those sound effects, edited them a bit, and used the photos to generate sort of levels in the game, and you could walk around those levels. And that was, I just really liked that project because it was so fun to do as well. The next thing I made with Vertex Meadow it might have been the first thing actually, I can't remember the order. It was a game called Doom Dream, which was about the dreams that I had as a kid playing Doom all day. So I had a pirated copy of Doom that I played, and I really enjoyed it and played it all day, and then I would have strange dreams. So it was kind of like an easy thing to do in that engine because I didn't have any shooting, but I could make Doom-like environments. And yeah, it was just like a sort of neat, I guess, conceptual idea. I think a lot of people maybe identified with that concept or had a similar experience because it was picked up by quite a few places. Rock Paper Shotgun did an article on it, which I was quite surprised by because it was just kind of like a little experiment, kind of like just a kind of a doodle almost. So yeah, but again, a fun thing to make. So this was before I'd actually made the editor for Vertex Meadow. So the way I was making these games was actually just drawing the levels in Paint program, and then so I didn't really know how they were going to come out in the 3D renderer, which was quite fun. But I left the the image files were just there in the game. And so I did get some people actually modifying the image files, making their own games out of that, which kind of made me think, oh, maybe I should make an editor for this. I did a few other kind of doodles. I did one which was inspired by Bunnings, so it's kind of like a hardware megastore. I did one. I added a new feature where you could draw kind of hands, which is like you could have some 2D image in front of your camera that was like, so it could be like a gun or it could be some hands. And what it is, I made a helmet, like a Ned Kelly helmet, and I made a kind of bush kind of scene and called that Ned Kelly. And that was kind of like inspired a bit by Sydney Nolan paintings, kind of the kind of blues and oranges and pinks that he uses. But yeah, it's kind of like a doodle really. And then when I released Vertex Meta, the editor, I made it an online thing, so you could actually do it in your browser. And that was really fun because a lot of people made little things because it was so easy to make little levels, and it was just really nice to see all the things people made. There was one person did a forest scene, like quite a detailed forest scene with a river and a bridge, and it was quite amazing. It was kind of nice to see like things that I would never have thought were possible. So that was, yeah, it was really gratifying. And then so because the terrain is just rendered from a 2D image, I thought it'd be interesting to use an actual video camera to stream the image in, because it doesn't need any processing or anything. It's very quick, so you can just have a moving image and have the terrain rendered from that. So I made a game called Reflection, which uses your webcam to render a scene that you can walk around in. So you can kind of walk over your own face, and you kind of get these really grotesque landscapes. So it uses the red channel of the video feed. So video feeds have like red, green, blue channels, and it uses the red one to work out the height. And so the heights are not really equivalent to the contours of your face. They're kind of all distorted. So, for example, your teeth tend to stick out a lot because they're white. They've got a lot of white is full RGB, red, green, and blue. So they kind of tend to stick out a lot. So it just made like a really interesting kind of an unusual thing, and it was very interesting to. There was like a few people did like YouTube videos on it, and kind of to see people's reactions. And then I also exhibited that at a festival. So I set up a stand and I took people's pictures and then let them walk over their own faces, and that was just really fun because the reactions I got were like there was a lot of kind of like joy, but also revulsion at like the images and the kind of landscapes that came out. So